Right.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste, assalamu alaikum. Good evening, good night, and good morning to all of you. We are pleased to have people at this meeting from all parts of the world in different time zones. I am Ashley Sinanan, an independent researcher specializing in historical studies. I hold a bachelor's degree in history with a minor in literature from the University of the West Indies. I must say today is a very special day, and I am so excited to be here specifically on this day because being a part of this program draws me closer to who I am as a person and my heritage and my background. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a weekly forum being hosted by the Indo-Caribbean Cultural Center, a legally registered research and publishing company operating since 2010. And like today, we often partner with the Amina Ghafoor Institute for the study of indentureship and its legacies, led by Professor Dabedin. In order to continue this weekly program and to make it bigger and better, we are asking for suggestions and volunteers. If you give a donation, your name will be placed on our poster and all promotional materials. Please contact Dr. Mahabir for details. Before I introduce our moderator today, let us remember that Hindus have just celebrated Mahashivatri. And today, and as well, Roman Catholics are now observing Lent for 40 days. And our Muslim brothers and sisters are observing Ramadan for fasting and reciting of prayers. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce our moderator for today, who is Shalima Mohammed, the co-director of this ICC Zoom platform, is a cultural and heritage consultant who has a master's degree in business psychology and teaches business studies in Trinidad and Tobago. Shalima, welcome.
Ashley, thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Namaste. And a warm welcome to all of you. Thank you very, very much for joining us today. It's a very special program because we are commemorating the 300th edition of the Thought Leaders Forum. And we really appreciate the fact that you all have stayed the course with us. It's been 299 unbroken continuous weeks thus far. We've been here every single Sunday, and it's been 5 years and 10 months, over which time we featured 1,204 presenters from various parts of the Indian diaspora and the globe, actually. So we've had partners in this Pan-Indo-Caribbean and Pan-Indian diaspora global Grammitya project. And one of those very significant partners, thankfully, has very special, let's say, talents, and that is Professor Chat Devrup from South Africa. He was so kind, he composed an actual new piece of the theme music for us, which you heard as we started today's program. He's an associate professor in the School of Arts at the University of KwaZulu-Natal, and his performances, we've had him on the program several times before. And as you probably know, his performances span multiple genres. I want to welcome Professor Devrup so that he can share with you why he chose to partner with us and create such an exquisite piece of music for us. Welcome.
Great. Thank you very much, Shariba. And my greetings to everybody on this forum. I must start by conveying my congratulations to the Indo-Caribbean Cultural Center, on their 300th anniversary. And my association is quite a passionate one with the center itself and also its sponsor, the Amina Ghafoor Institute, because I think I started to engage with this forum at the time when the entire world was in chaos. We were very uncertain as to where the world was going during COVID. We never knew what was going to happen. And I think our sanity at that time was kept by a forum such as this, which kept us into what we would call a true global culture. So for me, it is a very important forum. So my congratulations to everybody who was involved in this. It's been an absolute pleasure to be a part of this forum. And it has been a pleasure to actually compose the music that you heard right at the beginning. For those who've joined a bit late, so we will give you a taste of that. I'm not going to be too long. I'm going to speak for about 5 to 7 minutes, and I'm going to allow a minute at the end so you can hear the piece again, so you can understand what it is I've put together. Firstly, how did the piece come about? I was given a brief after the lovely Miss Mohammed had heard me several times, I think, on this forum, and she says, "We would like to hear you." And she heard me when she was down in South Africa, and she says, "I like your music," which is good. And same with Dr. Mahabir. So Dr. Mahabir had commissioned me. He says, "Look, would you mind uh, getting a piece for us that is really beaty, something that is really upbeat but speaks to the diaspora?" So that was the one portfolio. And the other caveat that came through was from Ms. Mohammed, who said, "Look, we would like to have something with the Bansuri in it, because the Bansuri is something that links to us." And I want to start at that point. Yes, the Bansuri is our link, our sort of umbilical cord to the motherland. When I say that, the Bansuri comes from a botanical family that is linked to the sugarcane. Most of you know that. The sugarcane and the Bansuri, or the bamboo flute, has got some common lineage, but botanically. So when most of us were shipped out by our colonial masters into the world, it was largely on the basis of their investment in the sugar industry. So I think it's very appropriate that Ms. Mohammed had suggested try to compose the Bansuri. So when you hear the piece, right in the center of the entire composition is the Bansuri. The Bansuri is the center, and that links us to that. However, when one looks at the piece itself and how this come about, I had to think very carefully as to where do we come from, as Indians outside of India, and what is our relationship to India. The one thing that joins us firstly is our culture, in a way, a sort of Indian culture. But what makes us different from India is that we've also hybridized and we've integrated with whatever cultures in around the world where we have been located. For me, in South Africa, those in the Caribbean, those in Fiji, those in Mauritius, we integrate with that. So what you're hearing in this piece is actually a coming together of that. So at its core, you will hear a Western bed that's there. The reason why that is there, most of us are dominated by the Western media system. We've sort of embraced that. You will find in the Caribbean, you have the development of soca, which is a combination of soul and calypso. In South Africa, we have South African styles, Marabi Kwela, which is also used some of the instrumentation. Same in Mauritius, an integration of these. So that's what you're going to hear. That's what you're hearing. We are not purely Indian as in the Indian sense. That's the first thing. So you're going to hear that. So the piece starts off. The two common things that combines us, what I've picked up in my research, for one is the Indian film industry. The media industry has linked us to India for some reason. In South Africa, we were cut off, but we still managed to smuggle tapes and videos in, which linked us to India. That was the first thing. The second is a genre of music that I'm not so sure most of you will be familiar with. It's called chutney. Chutney is quite a popular genre that links most of us. So if you hear the groove, that's the rhythm that you're going to hear throughout this piece. It's drawn from chutney. And the chutney that I've copied is the one that became very famous in the 1980s by Kanchan and Babla. I think most of us are familiar with Kanchan and Babla. So I've tried to copy that groove. That kind of beat you're hearing is a typical Babla kind of beat that you're going to hear. That's the underbelly. When the piece it starts off with this flavoring, a very Western flavoring, because we're all engaging with a global culture. That's where it starts. The saxophone is introduced first to show us how we improvise we find elbow room in the places that we belong. That's where the saxophone comes in. The bansuri brings who we are as Indians outside of India. That's the bansuri, that's the bed. That forms the core of it. Towards the end, you find a dialogue between the saxophone and the bansuri. They actually come together. They start to communicate towards the end. And the piece leaves then. It leaves with a question mark right at the end. And the question mark relates to the theme that will be addressed in each of the forums. So that's pretty much my talk. I know it's been very short, but I wanted to give you a sense as to what you're listening to, how did the piece come together, how I put it together. So I'm not so sure if Naveen, if he was out there, he can probably try to play the piece again, and you can listen to it in its broad parts. I don't know if that's possible, so you can hear it and then give me your questions. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Navin, is it possible to play the piece again?
Sure, I'll play it again.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Navin. And you know, Professor, I have to say that Navin helped to add the music onto the video, and he was able to capture just when you started with that Bansuri piece, he was able to have that come in at the exact time that we started to show the countries in the diaspora. So I thought it was perfect.
Beautiful. Great.
Thank you.
Yeah, anybody have any questions about the piece, or I'll be glad to speak about it. It'll be lovely to hear what's people's impressions. Even if it's a bad impression, it's nice.
I see Paul. Paul had a comment. Paul Balmukund had a comment. He said, I hear a piece of Santa Esmeralda band in the opening. Yeah?
Yes, it's to speak about you must remember we have a lot of countries that are located, where the Indian diaspora is located in the Caribbean and also in the southern, St. Martin, Suriname, etc. They've largely been influenced by Spanish music. Spanish music has played quite a dominant role. That's absolutely correct. That's what you're hearing in the harmonic piece. Santa Esmeralda, yes, he's Spanish, so that flavor, spot on. Very good observation.
Good. So Paul has his background in music too, clearly. I could not identify it at all. Thank you. And Chand is raising a comment. Bamboo holds a significant place in Indian culture. Did we have any flutes or, well, of course, the bansuri, but is yours made from bamboo or what? What is it made from?
Yes, my flute, I've got it right here, the one that I've used. I don't know if you can see it. This is the instrument that's right in front. This is what's used on the actual recording itself.
Yeah.
Obviously, it comes from India. The bamboo comes from Vietnam. Actually, this bamboo comes from Vietnam, but the instrument was made. Yeah, bamboo comes from Vietnam or Assam in India, now Indonesia as well. Because the reason why they do that is the nodes between the bamboo are very far. You can see there's a node at this end here. It's close up to one of the nodes are here, and there's no other node right through. It's been cut off right here. So that's quite important with this instrument for its resonance and quality. So absolutely spot on. Very good observation as well. Yes, the bamboo is very significant to us. In Indian culture, you find it's used in North Indian, South Indian music. a hell of a lot of it. Even used now in Qawwali, if you hear the Sanchal Jazz Orchestra performing, it's used quite widely. So it represents that. And then obviously it's got the religious and mythological significance with the association with Lord Krishna and the flute and so on and so on. So yes, absolutely correct. And I must really thank you, Shalima, for suggesting, look, put the bamboo at the heart of it. So this is your piece, written for you right in the middle. I had to stick it in because you suggested use the bamboo flute there. So that's what
If
we have.
everyone was as cooperative as you, this world would be so much better. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much for pulling it together.
Thank you.
So we want to move on now. Oh, Roseanne Kanhai. Oh, Dr. Kanhai is here. Very nice. We've missed you. She says you've done analysis on drumming in various parts of the Indian diaspora. She's asking if you've done analysis on drumming in various parts of the diaspora. Have you?
Yes, I actually have. There's quite a phenomenal thesis that's been written in South India, at the Karnataka College. They have a Karnataka College of Percussion. They're doing brilliant work in percussion. So there's an entire PhD just written on the Madangam itself. Just the Madang, a fantastic thesis, the analysis. So yes, I've looked at the rhythms in India itself, the rhythms largely, we are influenced in South Africa also a lot by the music of the Caribbean, the calypso, the soccer music that you have. We also have the Brazilian samba. All of that influences us because Cape Town was a port city. So whenever ships had stopped over there, they brought with them the musical culture, would also mixed with the local culture of Cape Guma music, which has now evolved into what we are calling Cape Jazz, but it's a blend of South African music. So it's a blend of African, a bit of South American, a bit of Indian. It all comes together in that. Yes, I have done an analysis, not an extensive analysis. I'm more a melody player, a melodic player. So my bias is towards the melodic form. So if you look at the raga principle, which has two core components, the melodic part, which is what we call raga, and talim or tala, that's the second part. My focus is more on the raga part because that's my bias being a melody instrument, be a melody player. But I do have a sense of what goes on in the rhythmic part as well. Thank you.
Wonderful, thank you. And we've been able to benefit from all that terrific talent and knowledge over the course of the last 300 and hopefully going forward. I want to thank you very much.
Thank you.
Wonderful. So, ladies and gentlemen, we want to move on now to our second speaker, and this is none other than Professor David Dabadine of the UK, who, as you all know, was born in Guyana. He's the director of the Amina Ghafoor Institute, which frequently partners with us at the ICC, and thanks very much to them, we've been able to pull together the program until now. We're at the 300th. He's also a professor emeritus at the University of Warwick and an honorary fellow at the University of Cambridge. We have to point out, too, that he's been nominated for the Nobel Prize for Literature. This is quite an historic and deserving announcement, and we wish Dr. Dabadine all success. So let's hear from Professor David Dabadine now. Welcome.
Oh, thanks, everybody. Thank you. It's wonderful, isn't it? We started with music. That's wonderful on the part of Professor Chat Devroop, and I can see a future webinar with him playing a major part. What do you think?
Sure.
Well, we've had him on several times playing a major part, but certainly we agree going forward as well.
Well, I'll be. Oh, by the way, let me acknowledge my friend Dr. Michael Mitchell, Professor Michael Mitchell, who's been attending many of these webinars. Michael Mitchell, who lives in Germany, my former PhD student. He does a lot of work for the Journal of Indentureship and its legacies, especially reviewing. So welcome, Michael. I'll only take 5 minutes because I'll say a few words. I'll say a few words about the Amina Ghafoor Institute, and then I'll really want to end by paying tribute to Amina Ghafoor and her husband Sattar Ghafoor. If you want to know more about the Amina Ghafoor Institute for the study of indentureship and its legacies, there's a website. And I want to be brief to listen to other speakers and to participate in the Q&A. Amina Ghafoor died in 2024, 4 years after establishing the Amina Ghafoor Institute, which was established in 2020 during the COVID pandemic when there was a lockdown in Britain. And then in 2021, it was launched in the House of Lords in the British Parliament for two reasons. Firstly, obviously, all the debates about indentureship in the 19th century and up to 1970 took place in the House of Lords. So it was really great, if not ironic, for us to launch our institute there. And of course, if you do read the debates in the 20th century on indentureship, you come across some very interesting, fascinating phraseology, if I can put it like that. I mean, in one of the last debates on indentureship in the House of Lords, Lord Hardinge, who was the former Viceroy of India and Governor General, came up with this really memorable little phrase about indentureship, where he acknowledged that the leaders of India, the Indian leaders of India and activists had deemed indentureship to be, and I quote, a badge of helotry or helotry, a badge of helotry. Beautiful little word, Helotry. And of course, that refers to the helotry refers to the people in ancient Greece who were state-owned semi-slaves who existed just to plant, grow, harvest, and provide food and other agricultural goods to their masters. A badge of helotry. Anyway, coming back to the House of Lords, the second major reason for launching it there, launching the Amina Gaffer Institute there, is because we wanted to be at the heart of politics, and at the heart of British academia. Since the launch was done jointly with the University of Cambridge and fully supported by the University of Cambridge Vice Chancellor Stephen Toop. And it was very important to move the subject from the margins to the center, which is one of the major motives or purposes of the Amina Gaffer Institute. And since that launch, we've enhanced our collaboration with the University of Cambridge by way of creating visiting fellowships in indentureship studies. And this year, the first scholarship for a student to undertake a master's degree by research on the subject of indentureship and its legacies. So that's something new. And as I said, that's moving indentureship from relative darkness to the core, to the focus of light. Now, Amina Gaffer in 2020 didn't want the institute to be named after her. Because she's modest. She was modest and self-effacing. But we persuaded her, since she was a very significant figure in Guyana. And being a Muslim woman, she was a minority within a minority. And I just want to read what President Irfan Ali said, the president of Guyana, President Irfan Ali said when she died. And I'll just read what he said. Quote, Amina's kindness and generosity. And I'm telling you this because I want to feel and I want to communicate to you that the qualities that Amina Gaffer had and her husband are the ones that we want to encourage and promote in the institute, and be guided by them. Anyway, this is what President Irfan Ali said of Amina Gaffer. Amina's kindness and generosity were unmatched, touching the lives of many through her consistent support for various philanthropic endeavors, particularly in the promotion of the literary arts. Her efforts nurtured and uplifted the talents of writers, poets, and artists across Guyana, making a lasting impact on our nation. Amina will be remembered not only for her profound influence in the literary world, but also for her humility and warm-spiritedness. Her gracious nature and compassionate heart made her a beloved figure to all who knew her. In her passing, Guyana has lost a true literary luminary and one of its kindest souls. And that is not exaggeration. That's not a eulogy. That is a description of Amina Ghafoor. And so is it really delightful that we have the Amina Ghafoor Institute with scholars like Michael Mitchell playing a very important part. So let me say who was Amina Ghafoor? And I'll just read what I wrote about her, a very brief note about her. Amina Ghafoor was the secretary of the Arts Forum, which was a platform in Guyana for promoting Caribbean literature and arts, and Guyanese literature and arts as well, and culture. And Amina Ghafoor was also founder and editor of the Arts Journal, which had 22 editions, 22 issues rather, 10 volumes, 22 issues, which she practically worked on single-handedly, commissioning, editing, publishing, distributing. Enormous amount of energy. She was also the director of the Guyana Book Foundation. And her book on Roy Heath, the Guyanese novelist, who was shortlisted for the Booker Prize in 1988, I think, for his major novel on Indians, indentureship and Indians in Guyana in the early 20th century, a novel called The Shadow Bride, which is the first novel on indentureship and its legacies to have been acknowledged in a major way by way of being shortlisted by the Booker Prize. Amina wrote the first book-length study of all of Roy Heath's fiction, published by the University of the West Indies Press in 2017. So although she was doing all of this other work, she still had time to publish books. She published her own autobiography, and I have on my desk somewhere her book, her latest book, which she nearly finished before she died, and my friend Dr. Mark Tunbridge completed it, a bibliography of writings about Guyana by Guyanese up to 2020, which is superb, superb bibliography. So she set up the Ghafoor Foundation in Guyana to support students at the University of Guyana, but also secondary school students and also students in technical colleges. So many dozens and dozens of people, young people, have benefited from her scholarships. And apart from education, she and her husband were major philanthropists. She was the chairman of the Dubai Medical Research Center, which assists dozens of people with kidney problems, kidney failure. She supported the Ghafoor Foundation, supported organizations dealing with blind people, with people with autism, and contributing to retirement homes for the elderly. So here is an extraordinary woman, a scholar, a publisher, a sponsor, a philanthropist. And now we have this institute named after her in her honor. And of course, let me end by saying that none of this could have been done without the help of her husband, who has become a good friend, Sattar Ghafoor, a barefooted village boy who ended up, I don't think he had a pair of shoes until he was about 14, in a village, obscure village in Guyana, who ended up one of the major businessmen and philanthropists in Guyana. And I just want to end up by saying, and I hope another webinar we'll have in the future would be on businesses, Indian businesses. I think we've had two of those already, but we could have a one with Sattar in the center, because he's such an important person. I want to end up by again quoting President Irfan Ali on Sattar Ghafoor and the generosity of the Ghafoors. He said, addressing Sattar, he said, "Your generosity has quietly touched countless lives, supporting many worthy causes, uplifting families, and extending compassion where it was most needed. These acts, given without fanfare And let me interrupt by saying, you will never know who Sattar Ghafoor is. He doesn't show off. Aramina, they don't drive big cars. They don't travel first class. They just quiet, decent people, very humble people. Coming back to the president, these acts of kindness and generosity, given without fanfare and often without publicity, have left an indelible mark on our society and our people, which is great that we've got the Gafoors as our symbols. Now, very briefly, what will we do in the future? The Amina Gafoor Institute, hopefully keep collaborating with ICC. We'll build in our bibliography, which is now, it's supposed the largest in the world, most comprehensive, done by Dr. Lynn Macedo. We'll continue the Journal of Indentureship and its legacies, which come twice a year, edited by Professor Amar Wahab in Canada and Dr. Maria Kaladin in London. And we'll develop the Young and Emerging Scholars Artist page on the website, which is run by Ben Jacobs, who is definitely a young scholar, Oxford, Cambridge, now at Rutgers, who is definitely the future of indentureship studies, one aspect of the future of indentureship studies, quite outstanding young scholar. And at Cambridge now, we are working on creating a permanent professorship in indentureship studies. And that means raising, in case anybody has any spare change, about £3.2 million. But we'll get there eventually. Thank you.
Yeah, change, £3.2 million. You make it sound so simple. Thank you very much for sharing what you have about Amina Ghafoor and Sattar Ghafoor. We were very pleased to have had him speak on the program through you, and hopefully we will have him on again. And I want to thank you very much for remaining a very important partner of ours. And going forward, hopefully we should be able to introduce you as a speaker and a Nobel Peace Prize winner in literature. So thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you now to someone that you all have been hearing. You've been hearing the name all the time. He's always in the background. This is the ICT manager of the ICC weekly program. He has more than 14 years of experience in the ICT industry, and he holds a degree in project management. He's also active in social and cultural services. It's my pleasure to welcome Navin Mangal of right here in Trinidad. Navin.
Hi, namaste. Assalamu alaikum to everyone. Good evening. Firstly, I would like to thank the directors, Dr. Mabiru, Ms. Shalima Mohammed, for, trusting me to be part of this program and allowing me to contribute in whatever small way I can to the success of the program. Let me just share my screen. So that's a short PowerPoint. So when Shalma asked me to talk, I was a bit hesitant because I'm usually a person that, as she said, I like to work in the background, not to really be the focus of the attention. So what drew me to the ICC and what I continue to be part of it, the reason I continue to be part of it for is because I strongly believe that the mission aligns with my core beliefs, things that I usually want to be part of. I don't usually join organizations or groups randomly. I usually very wary of joining groups because they say they want to do one thing and then it's something else, and then it's not really for the reason that they said they want to have this group or they want to develop this committee, and it usually ends up being for someone's own selfish reason. So, but this is not the case with this organization. So the mission is to bring the Indian diaspora in the Caribbean and elsewhere closer for the purpose of intellectual discussion, unity, solidarity, empowerment every Sunday afternoon and night on a free digital platform. And I believe these objectives are being achieved very efficiently. I think it enhances cultural awareness across generations. And that's one of the things I would like to see, some younger people being part of the forums. And I mean, if you want something to happen, you have to kind of be part of the solution. So, I mean, I'm not that young, but I consider myself to be part of the younger generation. Support community cohesion and shared identity. I mean, we have so many people from so many different backgrounds speaking on just one meeting or one forum. You could have so many variations in culture, ethnicity, age, gender. I mean, it really is amazing to see how that easily that happens and seamlessly. So, and it does provide a platform for cultural expression and dialogue, and we see that weekly with the different teams that we have and the different topics that we choose to take up. So my personal involvement and contributions are things that you may not see. So content roles, preparation of the content, helping with that, downloading content by presenters, videos from YouTube's, editing the content if necessary, sometimes by cutting out pieces or adding pieces or adding clips to make one video, adjusting audio levels, etc. Then dissemination, emailing of the invitation, the weekly invitation out through Sendy, which is a mass emailing service. Sometimes assisting presenters with their PowerPoint presentation if necessary. And sometimes even playing pre-recorded presentations for presenters who can't be live in the Zoom meetings. And monitoring in the meeting. So we're just looking at the Zoom meeting waiting room for maybe some suspicious names, because unfortunately we have had some trolls in the background who have joined the Zoom meeting to cause mischief. Let's just put it like that. So and then monitoring the Zoom meeting as well as the YouTube. Unfortunately, they have started now on the YouTube chat forum. So sometimes if you see me glance into one direction, it's because I have set up a second monitor to just have that dedicated for the YouTube stream, so I could see, because it happens very quickly. They just come on and they start posting comments randomly. And then obviously if there are comments from the YouTube chat that we see could contribute to the topic in the Zoom meeting, I would forward it to the chat there. So that's a basic workflow that helps me to do what I do. So download the content, emails, to renaming. This is a very simple thing that you may think that's not very relevant, but it is just renaming the videos and the PowerPoint presentations to add the name of those persons before it, because it's very easy to mix up the presentations when everyone has the same topic based on the theme for that week. So that's something that helps with that. Also verifying the presentations play back well and the audio levels are good. And also during the meeting itself, ensuring that the presenters' video and audio are working well and they can share their presentations. And on this point now, this is something that happens very, very often. Sometimes people trying to join the meeting and they saying they can't get their audio or video working properly. So in this slide, you can see a picture. That's what a basic picture that everybody will see, but circle there would be the audio button and the video button, which I hope people will know how to use. But if they don't, this should help. You click those to enable your video or audio, and then your reaction button if you want to raise your hand later on when we have the question and answer session. And then a very, very common issue that we encounter is if individuals that are presenting have audio in their presentation, they don't enable it. So this slide shows when you go to share your presentation, you choose make sure it's open first, share that presentation, and make sure this box here, that circle there with share sound, that box is ticked. And that should solve that problem. This usually happens more often than not being the problem. And together with that, I just did some SWOTs, being a project manager. It just came during this presentation of some strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And the virtual platform offers remote participation, reducing geographic barriers for some users, limited access for some people who may not have internet access, etc. Opportunities, enhancing inclusive design, adding tailored support can broaden. So with this opportunity, we can probably, if we have persons who maybe want to be presenting, but they don't have access to those equipment, maybe we can have persons who's nearby in that area that have access to just a phone. They could pre-record the session and email it to us, that sort of thing. We try to address accessibility, we imagine like those with disabilities, etc., with tech skills. That again is something maybe we can have a session trying to underline those weaknesses, and maybe have some sort of training session with that in one of our programs. And the recording and archiving programs is very similar. Right now, Dr. Marbury and myself need to back up all our YouTube recordings, because unfortunately we have lost some of our recordings that were on Facebook, because they randomly started deleting videos that were longer than, I believe, 2 years old or something like that. So unfortunately, those are things that can happen with us. And yeah, in conclusion, the Indo-Caribbean Cultural Center plays a vital role in promoting heritage, education, and intercultural dialogue. My involvement, in whatever small way, has hopefully contributed to enhancing and enriching those experiences. While participants face technical and accessibility challenges in Zoom meetings, addressing these issues will further enhance engagement and inclusion, ensuring the center's programs continue to strengthen community bonds. So one of the things that I want to do is to create a video tutorial with, starting from the beginning, how to open the email with the invitation, join the meeting, and those slides there with how to share your video, how to share your audio, how to share your screen. So it'll be some sort of a tutorial video, so we can share these. Maybe we can attach this to when we send it out to our speakers, so they can have that video to look at. So it kind of prepares them a bit for joining the meeting and sharing the video, etc. Yeah, that's it. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Navin. That's an excellent initiative, and I completely support you in that. I think our speakers, once our speakers confirm that they will indeed be participating, they would really appreciate that tutorial. Fabulous. And thank you very much. Thank you very much for not only lending your technical support, but you go beyond. Sometimes you actually contribute to the conversation because of your knowledge, your experience, your social activism, and so on. And this is all in part because of you also maintaining Indian heritage and having it play a significant role in yours and your family's life. So I want to thank you very much for that.
You're most welcome. Thank you.
Terrific. Thanks. So, ladies and gentlemen, now when we have one compliment for you that Paul Balmakoon posted up here. Without your skills, this program would not exist. Kudos to you. Yeah, Paul, thank you very much. So, we want to move on now to our next speaker, and this is Mr. Marlon Padiachi of South Africa. He's a distinguished media voice who has been highly commended by his alma mater, St. George's University of London. He's an activist, journalist, freelance reporter, photographer, and researcher who is currently writing memoirs, biographies, and autobiographies. And Mr. Padiachi has on more than one occasions asked us to be able to write an article when we get to these milestones. So I want to welcome him now so that he can share with you why he thinks this program has made some kind of a contribution. Mr. Padiachi.
Marlon has to unmute. Marlon, can you unmute? And turn on your video.
Unmute, yes, I have.
And you can turn on your video.
Okay, turn on, right, okay. I've got that. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're hearing you.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
We're not
I
seeing you.
must say,
Can you turn on your video?
let me
Video.
try again. Wow. Mm, I
Marlon,
had.
I said Marlon. Navin, can you
Right
advise
Yeah,
him?
next to the
right, the same spot that you turn on your audio, it's right next to it is the video tab. If you click on it,
Okay. Is video open?
Good, great, great,
Yes,
great,
yep,
Oh,
great.
click.
great. Thanks.
welcome.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. And 1 second, let me get my script. Mm,
I know it must be
No.
unusual for the reporter to be doing the
Yes.
the talk, but thank you for doing this.
Yeah.
Do you have your script on the computer or on paper?
On computer.
Oh, then you have to maneuver the screen. Is it on the same laptop that you're
Exactly.
using?
Yeah. No, I'm good now. I'm good to go. Thanks very much.
Okay.
I think so far it's been very inspiring to the previous speakers on the music, and then I know more about Amina Ghafoor now than I knew before. Thank you very much. I just want to say greetings from Africa and South Africa, distinguished coordinators, esteemed scholars, respected thought leaders, members of the Global Indian Caribbean Cultural Center, and the Indo diaspora family, dear friends. It is a privilege to join you for this landmark 300th consecutive edition of the Indo-Caribbean Cultural Center's Sunday Thought Leadership Series. When I told Dr. Kumar Mabir and Ms. Shalima Mohammed that I looked forward to this milestone and that I would one day write a story about it from South Africa, I really meant it. So today I'm honored to fulfill that promise. 300 Sundays, uninterrupted, unwavering, and unbroken, is not merely a statistic. It is a testament to discipline, intellectual courage, and a profound love for our shared heritage. I must say, this platform has become a global classroom without borders. Week after week, it has convened voices from across continents, generations, and disciplines. It has created a space where memory is honored, identity is interrogated, and community is strengthened. To reach this milestone is to affirm that our story, the story of the descendants of indenture across the seas and oceans, continue to matter. My own journey with this institute has been meaningful and personal. I have had the honor of presenting here several times, and each engagement has deepened my admiration for the coordinator's commitment to scholarship and community building. My first invitation came in the post-COVID era, if I'm correct, Dr. Kumar. It was in many ways a baptism of fire, a presentation on the sensitive question of intermarriage between Indian and African communities in South Africa's evolving non-racial society. I noted then that the pace of such integration was not as rapid as in Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, or other Caribbean nations. South Africa's apartheid regime had legislated the Immorality Act of the 1950s to criminalize interracial relationships. These laws shaped social attitudes for decades. However, a few conservative Durban Indians disagreed with my analysis, but Dr. Mabir calmly clarified that my presentation was an opinion editorial perspective and not a research paper. Controversy and criticism come with the media territory. We must agree to disagree. That too is the essence of this forum. Soon after that, I was invited to present at the inaugural India PIO Connect conference in Pretoria, hosted by the High Commissioner, Mr. Prabhat Kumar, in 2025. That gathering marked the beginning of a renewed mission to reconnect with South Africa's 1.4 million people of Indian origin, many of whose roots stretch back to 165 years to the arrival of the first indentured laborers in Durban in 1860. For High Commissioner Kumar, this was the first of many diaspora engagement sessions planned across the country. His message was simple: celebrate the contributions of South Africa's Indian community and reconnect them with the land of their ancestors. Unsurprisingly, Durban dominated the proceedings. We are home to more than 60% of South Africa's Indian origin population. The city is widely regarded as the hub of community leaders, artists, business figures who trace their roots to KwaZulu-Natal. This prominence is not accidental. From the semi-slave conditions of the cane fields to Gandhi's Satyagraha and the anti-apartheid struggle, Indian South Africans have played outsized roles in shaping national life. That history was both honored and reimagined in Pretoria during the PIO conference. A year later, clarity was still needed on the pace at which South African PIOs could secure overseas citizenship of India, OCI cards, which you featured prominently on one of those forums, which the OCI cards is a vital link enabling pilgrimages, tourism, business engagement in India, and connecting with our diaspora of 35 million across the globe. As I reflect on these 300 Sundays, I'm struck by how respectfully and collegially our relations between Durban and Porto, Spain have grown. Throughout this journey, I've encouraged the ICCC because I believed and still believe that this platform is one of the most consistent and authentic voices in the global Indian diaspora landscape. My connection to this work is also rooted in friendship. I fondly recall meeting Ms. Shalima Mohammed and Dr. Mavi in Durban during the Verulam 1860 Indentureship Conference in 2025. That gathering was more than an academic event. It was a moment of shared remembrance and shared purpose. The relations forged there has grown into a lasting friendship, one that bridges oceans, histories, and communities. It is this human connection that gives our scholarship its heartbeat. Today, as we celebrate 300 weeks of uninterrupted thought leadership, we are reminded that our diaspora story is not static. It is a living archive shaped by migration, resilience, sacrifice, and reinvention. It is a story carried by ordinary people who endured extraordinary circumstances. Platforms like this ensure that their voices are not lost to time. The Indo-Caribbean Cultural Center has become a lighthouse for this work. It has preserved memory with dignity. It has challenged us to think critically about identity, belonging, and the legacies of indenture. It has connected communities once separated by colonial design. And it has done so with consistency, humility, and intellectual generosity. So as we look ahead, the responsibility deepens. The next 300 editions will require the same discipline and passion, but also add in innovation. We must welcome new voices, new research, new collaborations, and new ways of telling our story. We must ensure that the next generation inherits not only our history, but also our courage to question, to create, and to lead. So therefore, in conclusion, I'm humbled to contribute to this milestone. I'm proud of the friendships that anchor this work, and I'm inspired by the Institute's relentless pursuit of knowledge, heritage, and community. To the coordinators, I salute your perseverance. To the presenters and participants, I'm honored to be part of the contributions. And to the global audience, thank you for keeping this flame alive for 300 consecutive Sundays. So may this platform continue to enlighten, empower, unite us across continents, across generations, and across the unbroken thread of our shared history. And I thank you for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's so kind of you to be here with us, number one. I know how difficult that must have been for you. Thank you very, very much for being with us and for always being such an excellent supporter of ours, both in writing and now even verbally. I want to thank you very much. I see Professor Dabydeen shaking his head. Professor Dabydeen, would you like to say something?
I just thought that that was so eloquent, summarizing the phenomenal achievement, stupendous achievement of the ICC keeping every week what he calls the flame burning, the flame alive. I just think you should quote that somewhere. Isolate and quote it somewhere.
Thank you.
Greatly appreciate all that you've said, Marlon, and thank you very much again for being here.
It's always my pleasure. Thank you. Thanks to you and
you.
Dr. Kumar. Keep up your good work. And it's
We'll
10,000
try.
kilometers away. Yeah.
With your continued support, we will, and hopefully we'll be able to push it for another, well, let's not count the hundreds. We'll just take it one day at a time. Thank you.
Exactly. Thank you. My pleasure.
Dr. Mahaber, is there anything you'd like to say?
No, he has written about us and the ICC and the team so eloquently that I wish he would turn it into an article and publish it somewhere.
I will do that.
Thank you. Okay.
Someone has to tell your story.
That's true.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ravi.
Yeah.
Thank you
bye.
very much.
My pleasure.
And I think, if I may add, I think we should really make an enormous effort or I suggest that we can make an enormous effort to get India itself to acknowledge what the ICC and Kumar Mahabir has done, and of course Shalima and the team, because it's unprecedented. And it'd be great if India itself, the motherland as it were, recognizes this extraordinary work that is being done on the Indian or the Asian diaspora.
Wow. That's tremendous, Professor Dabydeen. Thank you very much. I know that you and Dr. Mahabir will speak about that in future. But thank you. I want to welcome now another person who is quite integral to the operations of this particular program, and this is Daryl Gransom from right here in Trinidad. Daryl designs the weekly poster. Every single speaker that we've had over the last, well, certainly the last 100, maybe 150 programs, Daryl has placed your picture and your details so that it is visible for all to see. He's an historian, media specialist, and photographer. He holds a BA in history and a minor in international relations from the University of the West Indies. Welcome, Daryl.
Thank you, Shalima. Hello, everyone. I want to say it's truly an honor to speak at the 300th edition of this forum, hosted by the Indo-Caribbean Cultural Center. I am truly grateful to be part of the journey of the ICC Thought Leaders Forum and to be here to speak on this tremendous occasion. 300 programs is not just a number. It represents consistency. It signifies discipline. And more importantly, it reflects strength and resilience of the Indo diaspora. In a world where attention spans and shrinking content disappears within 24 hours, this forum has done something rare. It has created a sustained intellectual space. That in itself is powerful. The ICC Thought Leaders Forum is valuable because it preserves memory. What may have started as a documentation of Indo-Caribbean thought has evolved into something much larger, a global intellectual movement.
It fosters intergenerational dialogue. It allows scholars, professionals, and community voices from all walks of life and regions to sit at the same table. But beyond that, it creates continuity. Every Sunday, no matter what, there's a space where ideas are not rushed, not reduced to headlines, but shaped by outrage. Not shaped by outrage, sorry, but allowed to breathe. And that consistency builds trust. It builds a community that knows this conversation will continue. That in itself is not easy to achieve. Before I start serving as the program designer for the flyers, I was significantly influenced by Dr. Kumar's work, from his books to his magazines, and I was deeply inspired by his passion for Indo culture. Throughout my time working with the team, I witnessed the effort, the dedication, and the hard work to sustain this forum. I am grateful for the opportunity to contribute to this program, getting hands-on experience from the team through many activities that we did together. From this experience, I have also grown to implement media formats and techniques into my own work. Many people see the final program. They see the speakers, they see the flyer, but they don't always see the process behind it. When you reach 300 editions, you are not just creating a weekly program, you are building a visual archive of intellectual history. Each poster becomes part of a larger story. Each live stream and recording becomes part of a growing digital record that future generations can access. This is legacy at work. So today, as we commemorate 300 editions, I celebrate everything: the speakers, the process, the team, and the people and institutions who support this program. And once again, I must commend Shalima Mohammed and Dr. Kumar Mahaber for their work to make this happen every week. May the next 300 editions continue to expand not only our conversations, but our reach, our archives, and our impact. And may we continue to build a lasting legacy for generations to come. That's all I would have to say. Pretty short and sweet. Once again, thank you for everything. Thank you for what you have done for Trinidad and the wider region. It is one of the most impactful work I've seen to this day. That's why I will continue to be here and support you guys. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Daryl. And you know, while you were talking just now, I was reminded one of the things that you didn't include there was when you went with us to record conversations with some of the elders in Sangre Grande.
Yes,
If you
yes.
remember that.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you went in the rain, you almost got wet with all the equipment and everything, and going down the slippery slope and so on. So it's been very interesting, and I want to thank you very much for your continued support.
No problem. Thank you.
Dr. Mahaber, would you like to say something?
Daryl has been a tremendous asset to this program. Part of our program is not only presenting this live stream and the recording and all that, but behind it, sometimes we go to interview people in the villages, those who elderly, those who don't have internet and laptop and iPhone and so on. And Daryl has gone with us more than once by Simon's place there in Carsonfield. He has gone Pamita and done some of the recording of the older people in a village where I grew up. So we were kind of technically talking to the elders, but we were also documenting my life, early life in a rural village. And Daryl was always there. Daryl is passionate about what he does. He put his heart and soul into what he does to make it a perfect product. And I admire his drive. And Daryl will reach a lot of places. He has won awards in photography and so on. And if anybody in Trinidad wants to do documentaries, Daryl is the man, right? He's passionate about what he does and always learning. He's still taking courses. and trying to develop his talent. Yes?
Thank you. Professor Dabidine, would you like to add anything?
Well, obviously, Daryl is the future, the present and the future. And he mentioned something which I'd forgotten to mention, that the three, what you've done, the ICC, you created a unique archive of scholarship, voices, and so on. It's just, it's unbelievable, this archive, and the point about the archive, which is wonderful as well, it's free to view on the internet. That's amazing. As I said, I used the word unprecedented before, and I just repeat that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you so much, Daryl. So you've met members of the audience, you've met two persons in our technical team. You've met Navin Mangal, you've met Daryl Gransam, someone who you will unfortunately not be able to see, but who is responsible for working behind the scenes. And actually, he started off from the beginning, is Predi Partap, Amit Partap, who goes by the name Predi for some oddball reason on his online correspondence and so on. So Amit has been instrumental in several things. Dr. Mahabir, why don't you share?
Oh, Amit is one of our tech guys. He has built the website. We have a website, and he uploads articles. I'll show you that in my presentation. And one of the things I look to when I'm trying to recruit people, whether for pay or voluntarily, is their passion for the work. I like people who enjoy the work. They want to see a good product, right? They're passionate about what they do, not about money, not about the reward, not about fame, right? And Amit does things for us, and he wouldn't set a price. We would say, okay, just take this contribution and so on, because he loves what he does. I'll show his picture later in my presentation.
Okay, good. So let's introduce you now with the founder and executive director of this weekly Sunday Thought Leaders Forum. As you all know, Dr. Mahabir is an anthropologist. He's a publisher, he's a university lecturer, and to date has authored 12 books and counting. So he wants to share some further details with you, and please go ahead and do so now.
Right. So I would just take about 15 minutes. I see we have some time. But Shalima, we should leave some time for people who want to make comments at the end. So this is a momentous occasion. This is a historic day. And Shalima, somebody was saying we should have a lunch or get together or some kind of thing to celebrate this. We should only celebrate virtually. So, right, I am the founder and executive director of this program. And at the onset, I would really like to state emphatically that Shalima is the driving force and the inspiration and going forward, now and going forward, because I feel like I kind of have exhausted myself physically, intellectually, and so on, and with ideas. It is Shalima who comes up with these topics, finds speakers, and really communicates. She's a good communicator, and she does a lot of conversations with speakers and potential speakers. Okay, so why is this thing not? I don't understand. Okay, yeah. So this is our website, and our website has portals with articles, with books, with magazines, with media. And before we started this program, we were doing magazines, Diwali magazines and Indian Arrival Day magazines for 20 years, 20 years. So we have 40 editions. All of them are still on our website. They're free to read. You can download them and read, and they carry a different theme. Like this second one here is the Indian diaspora in St. Vincent, Grenada, St. Kitts. and Guyana. And the one on the extreme right, Indian Arrival Day, this is about letters between relatives in Trinidad and India during the leadership. We have those letters in the archive in Trinidad, and I guess most archives. In our website, we have a section on books, so we promote books. I think Lenroy Thomas is here, and we promote books that we publish. So we are also a publisher. If you want to get your books published, print on demand, as little as 50 copies, and then we have in our website we post our posters, and Daryl came along before we had a guy named Ravin, and he got too busy with work and so on, and then we recruited Daryl, and Daryl is now doing the posters. And here you can see that we also do tours, tours to Trinidad, tours to Suriname, non-profit, again, all led by Shalima. Without Shalima, this program can't continue. Without tours, she is busy now with studies and thing and school and all that. But hopefully one day she'll get a time and we resume these tours, right? Tours to South Africa and tours to Guyana. So non-profit, no money. Nothing comes to us. You pay directly, buy your own ticket, pay for your own hotel and so on. We don't take any money. And then we post our articles here in our website. So sometimes we promote our articles. This here, you see an article by Shalima, one of the few people, if only, to present papers at non-Indian seminars. Indian diaspora conferences, oh my God, you get scholars from everywhere. But when you have a seminar, a webinar, conference that doesn't have the word Indian or diaspora in it, you hardly find an Indian. And Shalima has made herself recognized by being a presenter in these non-Indian conferences. This is the magazines that we sometimes post here, right? In our articles that we post, and we promote our topics, right? Let's see again. Why is it not? Right. This is our first poster. 2020 in November during COVID. We came into being COVID, and here you see Betoram, Ravidev, Pravina Singh were the first speakers. So it's our first poster. When we started, we didn't have a poster because we didn't have graphic artists and all of that. But we developed, we evolved, and we're going to evolve again. And this is our first poster with Amina Ghaffur Institute on music. Right, we had Peter Manuel, Stephanie George, and Madan Makun, right? So thanks to Amina Ghaffur, thanks to Professor David Davidin, who has sustained us in part financially over time, because all of this costs money. We got to pay for a lot of things. I'll tell you later. On our first 100th edition anniversary, we came up with this theme. Many speakers celebrating early Indian intellectuals in the diaspora. So we had Fatima May from South Africa, Ajay Man Singh from all over the diaspora, FEM Hussein Naipaul, Bechu from Guyana, right? Celebrating early Indian intellectuals in the diaspora. For the 200th edition, which was the last time, we had speakers. We had a lot of music. We had Shalima talking, me, David there again, Maria Kaladin, and Shakira, who has become very busy to the extent that she can no longer be engaged with us every Sunday, but she has been a gem over years, voluntarily doing the chairing of the program. And this is our, we do statistics from YouTube, and we see we have views and so on. And this program on French-speaking Guyana garnered the most views with 1,134 views since it was published. Oh, I think that number has increased. I was supposed to update that. So we have like 49,000 views for some of our program in the channel. Male and female, it's a male-dominated program. I wish there could be more women. 85% male, 14% female.
Excuse me, Dr. Mahabir.
Yes.
Should we be seeing those statistics on our screen?
You're
I
not
think
seeing
you
it?
paused sharing your screen.
A pause. Okay, sorry.
Mhm.
Ah, all right. I wonder why that happened. You're seeing it now? All right, let me start sharing again. Sorry, I thought you were seeing all this thing. Good, you pointed that out to me. All right, are you seeing it now?
Now, yes. Can you go back maybe just
Yeah,
one
yeah,
slide so
yeah. So
we can ensure that that you're moving? Oh, so we missed quite a bit.
yes, yes. Did you see that?
We didn't, but
Oh
okay.
my God, you missed a lot.
Mhm.
Yeah. So okay, quickly. Did you see this one, Shalima?
No, you want to just recap, please?
Yeah. All right. So
Yes.
this was our first poster, right? Before we started without posters, we just had the text when we had sent out the invitation. And this is unsung hero, Dr. Jang Bahadur Singh, really the launch of the book by Betoram. And then we this is the first poster with AGI, Amina Ghaffur Institute, right, on music. And then 100th anniversary, we celebrated early Indian intellectuals, right? It took a different format. So we're evolving and developing, thanks to Shalima. And 200th edition, we had speakers, myself, Shalima, David again, the common denominator, Maria del Caladine and Shakira, who has been our chair for quite a while. And then views to our channel, so we can actually see how many viewers we have for each program. All right, 49,000 views. This is on YouTube, and it's male dominated, 85% male, 14% female. We would like more women to join our program as speakers and as members of the audience. Probably they're busy cooking, we don't know, or I don't know what's the reason. We can only speculate. And yes, so our this program, Indians in the French-speaking diaspora, drew the largest number of viewers, and we have viewers from everywhere: India, United States, Mauritius, Canada, Malaysia, France, and everywhere else. So these are YouTube statistics. Interestingly, most people view this program, those who are looking at it on YouTube, from their phone, and then the computer, and then TV, and then the tablet. All right, so we have a lot of new viewers on YouTube, almost 83%. And here we have the statistics again from YouTube about from which country the viewers come, and we can know how many viewers look at each of the programs by this data here. Now you can look at the program on YouTube free of charge anytime. So even if you are busy, and this is the YouTube channel, but the program can also be viewed on our website, Indo-Caribbean Cultural Center. Right, so this is it here. And we have our contact information here. We have our website, we have the YouTube, Facebook page, and so on. And these were the people who have been, over the years, being chairpersons and moderators: Shalima there, Shakira, and Ashley Sinanan, third top. She is our new volunteer. And we have Amanda from England, UK, originally from St. Lucia. And we had Kirti And we had Bindu, who has been with us quite a while, but family commitments and so on made them unavailable to be here every Sunday. And we had Bindu, Janine again. Janine got a new job and couldn't be with us, and from Belize, and then Charlie. And then this is our staff, the IT people. You have seen and you have heard Navin and Daryl, and this girl there, right, is Shalima. I forgot
Amy.
her.
Amy.
Amy Sinanan, right. So she helps us to write the summary interviews, summary articles. So for every program, what we try to do is to do a summary article, which we post on the various websites. And this is the guy who I've been talking about all the time, Amit, right? He's the man designing the website. And then we have Ravin, who used to design the poster and host the program, right? And then we have Judith. Judith helps us with the academic part, right? Because we have been writing academically about the program and aspects of the program, right? Sorry for not forgetting Amy's name. So we look for donation because we have to pay for Sandy, that is to do the mass email invitation, and we have to pay Amazon to host the program and to upload all our work, and Bluehost also website hosting. We have to pay for that. TikTok, we started it. We have to pay the license for Zoom, so there are a lot of expenses, and we pay staff. Some are volunteers and some are paid staff. So we welcome your donations. And we have a high-speed internet, so we have to pay for that additional speed. And so your donation goes there. And this is what I was telling you about. Amy does the summary articles. So for every program, we try to do a summary article and we send it out to publish. This is a recent program. And so you can help us to sustain the program, make it bigger, by being a moderator sometimes when Shalima is not available, or chairperson, right, when Ashley is not available. And you can recommend performers, because we also include song, music, dance, and so on. IT specialists, right, to promote the program. Give us names of potential speakers, of panelists, of collaborators, people who can collaborate with us. And how you can help is to forward our invitation to your network, so more and more people will know about the program. And there are people who, when they have discovered this program exists, they are here up to today. And some of them we mentioned Chan Gupta, and some of them may like to speak. So I don't know if any one of you here would like to add anything again, but this is the presentation.
Thank you
Okay.
very much, Dr. Mahabir.
Yeah.
I see 2 hands up. I really would like to hold comments because there's some information I want to share, but Vishnu Mahadev had his hand up first. Can we go ahead and just take a quick comment from Mr. Mahadev?
Yeah, I think I would have to unmute him.
Mm-hmm.
So give me a chance.
Mr. Mahadev.
Yes, okay. I would like to commend you guys for motivating people to become more of an Indian person with your series of programs that motivate them to continue their Indian heritage and to enforce the need for the diaspora engagement. So you guys have been doing a very positive move for nearly 2 decades, and that has motivated a lot of people wanting to be Indians and want to be part of the diaspora.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you very much.
actually 5 years, half a decade. Yeah.
I think he was making reference to all the work that you were doing previously
Oh,
with
okay,
magazine and publishing and
okay.
so on. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Ken Celine, thank you very much, Mr. Mahadev. Ken Celine, go ahead, please.
Yes, First, I want to thank you for the weekly presentations. I'm an Indian who was born in St. Vincent, and we have a very small group of Indians there. I call it a remnant of the people who are left. A lot of the people have, gone up in age and maybe passed by now. And when I come on, it's like I'm with family. You remind me so much of my cousins and aunts and uncles. But I just tell a little story. When I went to India, I saw an elderly woman grinding spices on a rock. We call it a sill in St. Vincent. And my grandmother used to do the same thing. And when I did look at this woman, she looked so much like my grandmother. I felt compelled to walk up to her and talk to her. I didn't even know she knows English or anything like that. And when I did, I asked her, what do you call that device that you're using to grind the spice? And she said, well, she looked at me like, you dotish or what? It's called a sill. So it just goes to show that connection can travel, across long distances. And what you're doing is just a really important part of Indians like myself who are basically isolated from our people. I live in New Hampshire in the United States, and there are not many Indians up here, So I just really wanted to say that I really do look forward to this every week when I can make it, and it really does give me a profound connection, to this whole Indian diaspora.
Thank you. It's really gratifying to know that the program makes such a difference. And one of the things I was looking at in the chat just now, before Dr. Mahabir even got to the slide in which we mentioned all the persons who have been involved, is that people in the audience can identify names. Shakira and Bindu, for example, popped up just now, and it gives us a greater sense of family because you all know who should have been here today as well. And that is excellent. Thank you very much for doing that. Mohammed Keshabji, welcome. You're muted. Can you unmute?
Lovely. Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Thank you, Shalima. Thank you, Kumar. I just wanted to say that I'm leading a trip to India next week of a diasporic group, but I want to pay tribute to you people in the Caribbean for opening my mind to the fact of the Indian settlement, its cultural dimensions, its reach, its contribution to development, and a lot more. Let me say that when I came to Trinidad, I came to realize aspects of Mahatma Gandhi's life that I was not aware of. And I got to realize about the remarkable catalytic contribution made by Trinidad to the African freedom movements. So as an overseas non-Caribbean plantocracy Indian diasporian, I want to say thank you to you, because you made me look at the Ugandan expulsion in a different light. You made me look at Gandhi's work in a different light, and indeed my own identity much more in a rich way. So I want to thank Selvan Naidu for making it possible for me to get to know Kumar in the first case. And Kumar, you were so very gracious and so accommodating. When you got back to me, I said, this guy is a big intellectual and he's going to listen to me, so he must be something quite important. I felt very much accommodated. You were very kind. And not to mention that I came to Trinidad the first time, and I just felt at home within minutes. I didn't want to go back. It was just that sense of inclusivity, that sense of readiness to commit. I see there are many other non-Caribbeans on this chat today. I see Dr. Farooq Topan is there. Him and myself are just writing about the Ismaili diaspora in Africa in the 19th century, which the Institute of Ismaili Studies is now promoting through an encyclopedia. And going forward, I think there are a lot of opportunities for us to connect and work together. and I'm very grateful, Kumar. You, on my recommendation, invited Firoz Navroji. You invited Zarina Patel. I want to say that these people have gone, they're no longer alive. But you've got them on your archive. The beauty is that you were so quick to capture these voices that even in their own countries now people have lost what they had to say. So I can only repeat what everybody has said with such depth of love and affection. There are too many people for me to thank, but I just want to say, Kumar and Shalima and Shakira, you people made me feel at home when I came to Trinidad. And you really made me feel that this is a rich history that I wanted to embrace. So I want to say thank you on behalf of myself, and all the people who have now become aware of the contribution made in the Caribbean to this recapturing of our identity. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, MK, and please give our regards to Amina as well. And in regard to your having been here, we have the pictures to prove it. And we have the pictures from Grenada to prove it as well. And I just want to say it was having a conversation with you in Grenada that led us to South Africa. And having gone to South Africa, what a wonderful coincidence. Your great friend Mamu Rajab and Devi Rajab had us over at their home. It was absolutely wonderful. We did not get to sing. I was trying to get him to do a Muhammad Rafi, but we didn't get to that point. But thank you very much for connecting us with some wonderful people. And I'm sure that it can go both ways going forward. Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, at this point in time, I would like to share my screen with you, if I may. Excuse me. Okay, Navin, is everything clear?
There's some dark spots. So what you have to do, stop sharing and go to Navin, share video. There's a view. That's what's causing the dark spots. Navin?
Okay.
Yeah, you have to when you right under that share your sound button, there's a box to check to optimize the video. Ready for
Right.
sharing.
So stop sharing and go back to there.
Okay, just 1 second. Sorry about this, you all.
Stop sharing.
Uh-huh.
And open, but not. You will see, like where you're sharing sound, there's something share sound, share video. Click all of those three.
Yes, you want to optimize the video, yeah.
Okay, I did that.
And then those spots wouldn't come out.
Are we okay now?
Yes, now they're still there. So those squares, they're squares that
Numerous? Too numerous?
yeah, about 2 or 3. Navin, guide her. Yeah, stop sharing. Stop sharing.
All right.
Yeah, I know it's usually that optimized video solves that
Yes,
issue.
stop sharing
I'm so
completely.
sorry about this.
No, we'll get it. We'll get it. Then
See, because I have to keep so many things open at the same time.
no, before you open fully, you'll see
Okay.
some options. Do you ever see that place share audio, share sound? There's some
Yeah,
buttons
that's what
there.
I used.
Right, but there are two buttons underneath. Underneath the share audio, you see share video, some optimize something. Right. Click inside those. Make
I
sure.
did optimize
Right.
optimize for video sharing.
Right.
That is clicked.
And the next one, audio too.
I can't close down all the others.
All right, we'll
See
go
what
as
this,
we'll,
see what this one is.
we will
Here.
go
Is it okay now?
still there, but
Oh,
okay.
no, it's the same thing.
I don't know what to do.
You wanna send it to me and I can share it and you can just talk.
And we will
Yeah.
take some.
Let me do that.
Yeah, send it to Navin and let's take some comments from the audience meanwhile,
Sure.
probably.
So Dr. Mahaber, why don't you go ahead and coordinate that while I do this, please?
All right. Okay. Okay. So yeah, Chan, you were saying something, Chan, so you can go ahead and talk, and you can put on your video if you wish. Chan Gupta. Michael, you wish to say anything? Just raise your hand, anybody. Your electronic hand. It's in the reactions button at the base of your Zoom screen, so we can make you audible.
I just want to, Kumar,
Yes,
I just
yes.
wanted to say that Mohammed MK spoke so sincerely about how the ICC has impacted upon him, you know.
Yeah.
And by the way, I don't know, I mean, I know MK obviously, but I always remember going to visit him for the first time, myself and Arlen Harris, the filmmaker.
Yeah.
And we thought we'd be there, cup of coffee, a little chat, and then head back. We stayed there for 4.5 hours. MK, do you remember? Because his conversation is enthralling and compelling. I still
Yeah.
remember 4.5 hours later, we left thinking, what was that? Oh, how did that happen?
Yes. So I see Vinay has entered the room. Vinay, you had posted some comments about this program before. You want to say something, Vinay?
Hi, good afternoon, Ditaram.
Yeah,
Assalamu alaikum.
you can turn on your video if you wish.
Oh yeah, I'm actually in the car. I'm stopped right now. So
Okay. Okay.
yeah, just say a few words. I was watching on the YouTube. I thought I'd connect to the Zoom.
Right.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that this has been a fantastic program to watch and be a viewer of, as well as to participate in some of these segments as well. I particularly would say that I enjoy a lot of the sessions that feature our older heads and bringing them on to talk about their lives and their childhoods. And from that, there have been so many elders I've been able to connect with. And one of the things I really appreciate is that Shalima and Dr. Mahabir and the entire team are always very forthcoming with connecting you with persons, sharing phone numbers, always providing references. Always being very open with the information that they have and wanting to continue supporting other people who are trying to do research and get more information as well. So I'm very grateful for that. It's hard to believe that it's been 300 of these consecutive sessions. I feel like time has flown by so quickly, and definitely having these programs throughout the first kind of phases of pandemic and in the years since were really nice as well. So just wanted to say some words of support and thank you all for having this. I know it's a lot of programming, a lot of preparation, a lot of investment of your time, but it certainly is very useful. And I know
Yeah,
that,
I'll read what I sent to them.
Yeah.
yeah, I know very often I find myself going back and looking at old recordings and learning so much from it. So thank you all and thank you to the team.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Thank you so
So
much, Vinay, and thank you as well for always being there and also connecting us with speakers and sharing some very, very reliable information from your Cutlass website. So thank you for doing all the good work that you as well are doing.
Reliant economy, securing our future as an energy superpower. That's how we protect Ontario.
Is it
Very
Yeah.
nice. Thank you.
Hello? You asked me to speak?
Navin, yeah,
Oh,
thank you very
Ranbir
much.
after Ranbir.
Oh,
You
that's fine.
talk
I
after.
didn't know I was unmuted. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ranbir. I just want to share a little bit of info with you all, and then we could probably go back to having a conversation. Navin, now I have to ask you to advance my slides, please. Thank you. Okay, good. So I just wanted to capture some views here from 1 to 300. That's where we began, and now you all are seeing our new background. Move on, please. Thanks. Right. So what I wanted to share, some of you all in the audience at this point in time, former speakers, some of you all have merely participated by way of coming, and we are so grateful that you all keep coming in and participating in the way that you do. But we needed to explain what is the use value of these 300 episodes. And so I've come up with curriculum framework to use the information that we've collected from you all, valuable speakers, and the valuable comments that you all in the audience have made. And so I want to suggest that from all the information that we've gotten up to this point, a formal curriculum framework which is suitable for a university course or a lecture series or structured webinar program to be entitled Indo-Caribbean History, Culture, and Diaspora Studies for undergrads, graduate, and public scholarship series can be formulated over a 12-week semester course, possibly 24 weeks, or maybe even multi-year research seminar series. Navin, move on, please. Thanks. And what is the rationale for such a course of study? The curriculum could examine Indo-Caribbean historical formation, cultural development, and contemporary identity through interdisciplinary approaches, including history, anthropology, sociology, religious studies, and diaspora studies. Because it foregrounds indentureship, which we've been talking about to a great extent, post-colonial transformation, memory, and cultural resilience. There are several learning outcomes from that. Navin, move along, please. Okay, good. And now I want to introduce you to the curriculum structure based on the past 300 episodes. Move on, please. Okay, so if we divide the information that we've gotten so far into various modules, Module 1 could be Historical Foundations of Indo-Caribbean Society, to be done over 3 weeks and subdivided into units. The first one being that of Indian indentureship, in which we could discuss recruitment and transportation systems, plantation labor regimes, coming all the way down to indentureship as a crime against humanity, because we have covered that in a program under the very same name, and we will be bringing that back again very soon.
Next week.
We could next week, actually, yes. We could also bring in post-indenture transition, in which we talk about land settlement and village formation, economic mobility, political incorporation, and creolization processes, all of which we've discussed. And this module can be assessed as well via archival document analysis or historiographical essay. Move on, please. Thank you. On a module 2, we could do over weeks 4 to 6 on religion, culture, and identity. And in here, we've talked a little bit about religion, but we've covered to a great extent how religion informs Indian culture, bringing us to syncretism and reform movements that could be discussed in a course. Move on, please. That course could end with a unit on language and cultural expression, because we've discussed Bhojpuri retention and unfortunately decline. We could talk about bringing it back. Creole linguistic blending, oral storytelling traditions, which you all know we've covered in about 20 different programs, different episodes with our elders. And we've covered extensively Indo-Caribbean literature. To add to that, we do want to add literature. So for all of you all who are looking on right now, whether it is on YouTube or right here with us in the Zoom program, as long as you've written a book on Indian indentureship or anything related to Indian indentureship, and we've not yet mentioned it on one of our programs, please bring that attention to us so that we can add it into our archives and therefore convert it, for example, into courses for academic study. Navin, move on, please. Okay, great. On a module 3, we could do over week 7 to 8 on social structure and community life. And here we would cover family and gender. We would cover education and mobility. Move on, please. We would also want to cover health and well-being. And we started off this year in particular speaking about health on, I think, the first 4 programs for this year, or the first 5 programs for this year. But we relied heavily on traditional forms of healing, traditional medicine in our past 300 programs. And so information on this, we need to continue to develop, and we need to have field interviews or oral history projects coming out of that, because we are slowly losing these traditional and alternative healing practices and practitioners. So we need to capture that kind of information going forward before it is completely lost to us. Now, we'll move on, please. Great. And module 4, we could talk about politics, race, and representation, and significantly, ethnicity and race relations. We've done some work on Afro-Indo relations, but significantly more needs to be done in that regard. So the areas are open up for further research. And if we are talking about law, the law, rights, and reparations, Indian indentureship, in the reparations discourse is completely non-existent. So unless we have a course of study to ensure that it is in there, we would continue to be marginalized. The human rights frameworks need to take Indian indentures into consideration, and MK, we would rely on you to a great extent to beef up this particular course. Thank you. Navin, can we move? Okay, so within that particular module, we've done some work already through portrayals of Indians in the diaspora by media, but there's still a lot of work to be done, and you all heard from Marlon Padiachi today, and he could be a great resource for this. So film and documentary portrayals could be included, archival newspapers, stereotypes, and narrative control. We could add so much more to this, but a student, an academic student, can do an assessment, policy analysis paper, or a debate forum can be had on this. We need to continue to educate based on the experiences of our ancestors, and especially what has happened in post-colonial societies. Move on, please, thanks. Module 5, over weeks 11 to 12, possibly, just 2 weeks, could be on heritage, memory, and decolonization. And of course, you all know that significant for us is heritage preservation. So we could go all the way back to talking about the emigration depots, the plantation estate memory, monuments, and memorialization. But to a large extent, we've done some work on oral history and genealogy. Case in point, searching for ancestral families in India, filmic journey since 2023. And we continue to build on family archives. We continue to get persons in the Indian diaspora who have built their family archives. And all of this information is sitting out there. We need to pull it together so that it can be used for education going forward. Similarly, community storytelling, so very important and being lost. And Mr. Sylvain, when you spoke about your experience and not having too much of an Indian community where you live, community storytelling, I'm sure, from St. Vincent is something that stays with you, because that's where you would have learned your Indian identity and be able to establish yourself as a person of Indian heritage. So we need to continue with digital archiving as well and develop on that. Navin, can we move? Great. So continuing in that particular module, we want to focus on decolonizing knowledge. And we have Sanju Hira, who has done some excellent work in terms of decolonizing. He is one of the people who, with others in the Netherlands, have created an actual website that we've been able to cover here. So all of that information is out there. And so a student can do a final assessment for this particular module on a research paper, documentary project, you're seeing it there, or public seminar presentation, utilizing information that talks about decolonizing the existing curriculum. So we want to make sure that we do have a voice in there, but it has to be one that recognizes that the children of the indentures have now moved on and have well integrated into the societies in which they live, but well grounded in the heritage that remains with us. Navin, move on, please. Okay, so in terms of the pedagogical approaches, we can use archival research, oral history methodology, like drawing on information from our conversations with Indian elders. Community-based research, which is what, all of us do, it's just not documented. Comparative diaspora analysis, seminar debates, and guest lectures can come out of this because it makes sense to be able to have those conversations so that persons of Indian heritage can feel comfortable knowing that their identity is not strange, despite the fact that they might be living in a country or in a community where there aren't very many persons of the same heritage. Navin? Okay, and you close any course with a capstone. Some of the options might be to produce a publishable research article or develop a digital heritage archive. And we have information from right there on the course, or information on our website, which would have come from previous presentations, such as the one captured there in the program, The Significance of Digitizing Archival Records, the Indian Diaspora Indentureship Experience. And then we have our good friend Tanya Sitaram from Suriname, giving an example of where archival information on Indian indentureship can be gotten in her particular country, Suriname. So another capstone option would be to design a museum exhibition proposal, and we have people in this room who can help with that. Create a documentary script, or more importantly, develop a reparations policy brief, which is something that we absolutely need to do going forward. So Navin, I think there's one more. Yes. And the academic program or that curriculum could be further expanded into comparative studies with Afro-Fijians, Afro-Mauritians, or Indigenous Mauritians, or Afro-South Africans, or others, maybe white South Africans. There could be advanced seminars on indentureship and international law. There could be public history and museum studies tracks to be added to this. So the areas are vast for study. And I'm suggesting that coming out of our programs, you'll see how it can be built into a particular curriculum. And I just want to say that one of the reasons why I've thought to bring this to the fore is because, as you all well know, we are affiliated with Dr. Shadnan Harinandan Singh from the Netherlands, who is the founder of Grammatology. And we're going to hear from Dr. Shadnan very soon. And I just wanted to show that this particular program and all the work that you all have put together in bringing presentations over the last 300 episodes adds value for the academic disciplines. It's not just what we here, this ICC team has done. It's what all of us in this room has done and will continue to do, hopefully. So I want to thank you very much. MK, you want to unmute, please?
Thank you, Shalima. I mean, what I heard you say is music to my ears for the simple reason that all this would be useless if it wasn't put into the educational food chain, if I may put it that way. And I just wanted to make a few small comments in what you said. When you spoke of human rights, I think nobody knows easily that one of the first persons to universalize human rights in 1948 was a Gujarati woman who represented India called Hansa Mehta. Hansa Mehta actually told Eleanor Roosevelt that take the word out man, but put all human beings. So in 1948, the changing of one of the main principles of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights was actually catalyzed by a Gujarati woman from India called Hansa Mehta. And in that context, when you talk about decolonization, I would say we need to look at decolonization of human rights itself as a subject. And there I would submit that one of the authorities in the world today is an Indian girl from Kenya, Binaifa Navroji, Firoz Navroji's daughter. She is the CEO of the One World Foundation in Washington, in America. So I think that to get people to teach in this program, we should try and embrace all the outstanding people that we've got in the diaspora. And two people I can think there is a person I interviewed last week called, he's from Nigeria, called Mashoud Badran, who's a black man who's written the influential article called The Myth of Discord in Human Rights. And secondly, we got Binaifa Navroji to keep on our repertoire. Secondly, I think that in our lovely framework that you've developed, let us bring in leading Indians who played a major role in the decolonization process in the 19 countries. I mean, people in Uganda, there were Indians on the Lancaster House Conference when East Africa got its independence. One of the persons who catalyzed Kenya's independence was a former colonial minister of works, Ibrahim Natu. Nobody's even heard of him, that when he came back from Lancaster House Conference, he precipitated Kenya's independence by throwing in his lot with the African people. Thirdly, I think we need to also put in somewhere representation and contestation in the public square, because this brings in the question of Mahatma Gandhi's statue and why should we have it there and why does somebody not have it here? And then you find somebody totally illiterate about the whole situation will come along and start talking about Gandhi was a racist. I think the contextualization of history becomes very critical in this type of educational discourse. You touched on the decolonization of knowledge, and I'm in touch with Mr. Sharadanand in Holland. I think that is a fascinating field that you touched on. And lastly, and I think that David may be able to throw light on this, that what have we studied about the pathology of interracial conflict? What did we learn from 1949 Cato Manor in Natal that changed the whole nature of South Africa's freedom struggle? What did we learn from 1964, the Wismar massacre in Guyana? I mean, 1,200 people were killed in one night. Well, is there something that we've learned from that? And thirdly, what have we learned from the 1972 Ugandan expulsion? There are millions of words written here in Britain, and there are archives here that are sort of bulging at the seams. And just 3 years after the Ugandan expulsion 50th anniversary, I don't see any real teaching being done unless I'm not aware of what's happening. So is that archive something that between David Dabadine's Institute at Selwyn College or at Cambridge, with you people in Trinidad, with the Ismaili Institute trying to do something in that level, can we bring about a synergy to enrich further the absolutely brilliant framework that you have discussed? And I would say bring in people from the diaspora. So we make it beyond the Caribbean. The Caribbean is like a tap, and this thing is like the ocean. Let that tap open more to let the greater water seep through, as you did in the early days of the 20th century. So I would leave that with myself and David to have a coffee together the next time, David, at the Institute, and with Kumar and all of us. Let's see if we can broaden the ambit without sacrificing the practicality of making things happen. We don't want to go and make it so big that we can't handle it, but we could broaden the ambit slightly to bring in the rich dimensions of people that we can bring to this endeavor.
Wonderful, MK. Thank you. I love to hear that the presentation has brought out the intellectual juices. I can see a lot coming out of this going forward, and I know we have your support. I want to thank you very much for doing that. And I love that analogy. This is the tap, and it just flows into the ocean. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Sharadanand.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you. At first, I want to wish every
participants, especially our Muslimah brothers and sisters, Ramadan Kareem. Ramadan Kareem. It is very important period to go inside and try to disclosure yourself what we have to do, what we have not to do, and what we have to do together. Keshav, Muhammad Keshav, I'm very, very happy to have you in my group. And a person like you, many, Kumar Mahabir, Dr. Shalima Muhammad, the team, I am impressed. I can tell you, I am a new bird. Just from last 1 year, 2 year, I am in this area because I was living in Portugal, and now I have more time to put my energy in this journey, and the journey we are calling mythology. What I've seen today, and thanks to Professor David Dean, and I never knew about late Amina Kapoor. They are our pillars, and you know what they have done. We have to make this like a souvenir for ourselves and our descendants. I can see that after the 300 sessions ICC have had in the last years, that this platform is making a new step forward. A new phase is coming because I see that we have been searching the archives. We have listened to the person calling oral history. What we have to do now is to look in the kitchen of the archives. Is not written by us, we, you, descendants of the Girmitias. And what Girmitiology is doing now is starting from the term is calling itihas. Itihas means indeed it was so. And who can tell this better? Who can write this better than you, descendants of the Girmitias? And that is a new view in making the history. I think, let me be very concrete. Now, and Salima Muhammad and also Kumar Mahabir, they are part of the Girmitiology, and I have found this group and joined them. And come, we are carrying a bakar, a mountain of knowledge you have. What are we going to do with this mountain, the knowledge what we have? So I said we are going to look in the science way, scientifically, and upgrading. One of the things we are already started is encyclopedia about the indentured labor. At least thousands of books we have already been registered in our, let us see, digital biblioteca. But this is encyclopedia is needed to save all the knowledge what we have. Well, I don't want to take too much time, but let me congratulate all of you. I have learned every session something from you. I said, oh my God, I did not know. And I want to invite all of you, bring the hands together and let us fight let us fight or we have a lot of struggles and challenges. Last, I have posted my column concerning the racism against the Girmitia descendants in South Africa. Well, that is just an example. That is globally going on. We have to fight to face the challenges. And that we can do only when we can unite it and say we are one global Girmitia community. I am not calling myself diaspora. I am not diaspora. Diaspora means you have a dream to go back to India. That is not my dream. However, I hope that the ICC can stay for more and more programs, and the next 300 program, maybe I'm 82 years old, I'll not be here to see that, but I know persons like Salima Muhammad, Dr. Kumar Mahabir, and I know a lot of people that I'm not going to mention, that they are the pillars. You know, what is India doing now? They did not know the word Girmitias for a year ago. Now, many universities is being involving in this subject because 30% of the indentured laborers, they return it back. There is no history about these persons. Nobody knows. So I'll inspiring them also in India to rewrite their history in the focus of Itihas. Closing, it is now so far that the Jawaharlal Nehru University has adopted Girmitology, and in September 10, 11, and 12, we have there a symposium. And what I'm doing now to bring our scholars there to talk them what they have not done till today. Because when India became independent, the same Mahatma Gandhi did not mention us. No, nobody had spoken about there is a part of our Indians living abroad. When you are going to try to find your lineage there, it is a miserable thing. Why? The archivals are not being served good. It's even so that the part of the archival, the British Raj has taken away somewhere. Maybe they destroyed this. We are busy to find out where are these archives because we cannot find our relations. Sorry, I'm speaking too much, but Ashirvad is the word that I can tell you all to you, and let us work together and do this. When I am not, you are not, our descendants, they will be very thankful to us. Thank you. Ramzan Kareem, Hariom. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Shadanand. And you just reminded me I have to break fast in a short while. So thank you very much for always sharing your wisdom and for being an inspiration as we go forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we close, I just want to share a message that was sent to us by Mr. Ashok Ramsaran, who is the president of the Indian Diaspora Council. He intended to be here today. Unfortunately, he's unable to, so he sent a message which he's asked that I read to everyone, just share with you. The Indian Diaspora Council International, IDC, and its global membership congratulate the Indo-Caribbean Cultural Center on holding its 300th session being held today. This is an extraordinary and unique achievement that strengthens the bonds among people of Indian origin in the diaspora, in particular descendants of Indian indentureship, the Girmitias. At the same time, these sessions are important for historians, officials, and agencies to understand and address issues pertaining to our unique history. The Indian diaspora is grateful for your sustained and persistent efforts to engage persons with various backgrounds globally to address current, critical issues of interest and concern among the Indian diaspora. IDC commends you on the enormous extent of time, effort, and resources to plan and hold the weekly sessions that continue to make a huge impact globally, and I applaud your personal contributions to connecting people, ideas, suggestions, and recommendations that enhance outreach and dialogue among the Indian diaspora. My best wishes to ICC for continuing success in this and other endeavors. So that's from Ashok Ramsran, and I want to say thank you very much to him. He has also been a very large supporter in both financial and other means to us in this program. And I will now ask Dr. Mahabir to make his closing comments. But before I do, I just want to say, I want to reiterate rather that this program, we in the team are just the facilitators, I think. This 300 and any accolades for the 300 are really due to every single one of you who are here, speakers, non-speakers, members of the audience, persons who silently support us, and so on. It's a global effort. Could not be done without all of you. So thank you very much, Dr. Mahabir.
Yes, I want to reiterate that we are doing this because it has to be done. And nobody seems to have the time or to be making the sacrifice to do it. This doesn't bring us any monetary value. Our donations are few and far between. So, and we have expenses, we have bills to pay, we have a staff. Some are volunteers, some we have to pay. And often we have to take money from our pockets to pay, but because it has to be done. There is no other organization that is hosting a webinar like this, even once a month, even twice a month. We do it every single Sunday without fail for 5 years. Of course, you have these conferences, in Indian diaspora conferences. They're held, you know, in Trinidad and other places in Suriname. But that's once a year, once every 2 years. Technically, we have a panel for a conference every single Sunday. So thanks to you, you have contributed just by attending. That's good. By suggesting speakers, by suggesting topics, you know, you have contributed in whatever way, and by spreading the word and spreading our links and spreading the invitation. And we will continue, but this program can only continue with Shalima. She is the driving force behind this program. If she leaves, the program collapses. I would be honest. So Shalima, I'm very, very grateful to you. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you very much. It won't collapse. We have people like Ashley, we have Navin, we have Daryl, we have others.
Stay with us.
Thank you. Professor Dabidi, would you like to close?
I know I'd just like to echo what everybody has said, especially MK. And of course, you see what's really important now is Shalima, you provided a sketch of a syllabus based on the archive that you've built up through the weekly webinars. That's superb.
Thank you.
And that is something that that is real. It can become real, you know. But we won't talk about it now. It's so important that we should maybe have a discussion among ourselves, the academics as well, in our midst, who know how to put these things into university courses and so on. Not now, but it's fantastic. Shalima, what you've done is really super.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So, ladies and gentlemen, at this point, I want to thank everyone for being here with us today and for making this a very momentous occasion. And now I turn you all over to the future. Ashley Sinanan.
Yes. I usually only get my 2 cents and coming down to the last of the program. Shalima, that presentation resonated with me specifically coming up because I am intertwined in both with literature and history. And a lot of history is intertwined into the literature as well. And I was actually having this conversation with two people in the chat and I was sidetracked. But Indo-Caribbean literature, I think right now needs to be at the forefront as opposed to everything else, because as a literature student coming up from Form 5 into university level, I think the only person we get taught about is Naipaul. And his name resonates so many times. If we're not talking about the House of Mr. Biswas, we're talking about Miguel Street, and it's like, is he our only Indo-Caribbean writer? Like, I mean, we have others. And I remember doing one book in Form 6, coming into university level, did the same book, A House of Mr. Biswas, at university level. So I did it twice. So I think that is most important. I should take forefront right now, because indentureship, all those things, it's there. It's definitely there. I've written essays, a lot of essays on indentureship and everything that associates with Indian indentureship. So it's there. We are not to be worried. History students are getting there a lot, but not with literature. We are feeling and suffering.
Is her internet frozen?
It seems so,
Seems
because,
so.
yeah.
It's unfortunate.
All right, you may have it close.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
So let
lost
me
that.
just read. I saw a comment that she made in the chat. Sorry, Navin, were you trying to say something?
I said we lost that. We lost that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so she put a message here in the chat. I actually like this initiative in terms of Indo-Caribbean literature, because coming up as a literature student, we did not touch base on a lot of Indo-Caribbean literature. The only person we were taught, okay, so she's already said this. They were taught about V.S. Naipaul and his writings. No other readings regarding Indo-Caribbean culture was studied.
Yeah,
And so
not
it's
even David
important.
Davidine. Not
Oh,
even
here we
David
are.
Davidine.
Yeah. Ashley, go ahead, please.
Yeah, apologies. I think Zoom cut me off.
Okay.
Yes, so as was said earlier, this public meeting is being hosted by the Indo-Caribbean Cultural Center. And like today, we often partner with the Amina Ghafoor Institute for the study of indentureship and its legacies, led by Professor David Davadine. Feel free to contact the ICC to publish your books. Remember that we are asking you to kindly give us your suggestions. If you give a donation, your name will be placed on our poster and all promotional materials. Please contact Dr. Mahabir for details. Our topic next Sunday will be, was Indian indentureship a crime against humanity? Obviously, we know the answer to that, but anyway, we'll get into that next week. Thanks to our planning team led by Dr. Kumar Mahabir and Shalima Mohammed. Thanks to our IT and graphic consultants, Daryl Grantham and Navin Mungo. Please visit, like, and share to our YouTube channel to see all our past recordings. I am Ashley Sananan from Trinidad and Tobago in the Caribbean, saying goodbye. May God bless you all. Dhanyavad.
I think Navin has to play that video.
Allahu Akbar.